Hello, friend. Many people think that being alone is a bad thing. They imagine it as something cold, empty, or sad. But what if I told you that being alone can also be something beautiful? What if it is a chance to meet the most important person in your life, yourself? You see, there is a big difference between feeling lonely and simply being alone. Loneliness can hurt, but being alone can help us grow. Alone, we can find space to think, to rest, and to truly listen to our own heart. We can discover what we like, what we dream about, and what makes us happy. This is not a lesson about how to avoid people or how to hide from the world. It is about learning to enjoy your own company so you can feel strong and comfortable no matter who is with you or not. Alone does not have to mean lonely. Let's see together what happens when we open the door to self-companionship. When we hear the word alone, what do we really feel? Many people think that being alone is something sad, but there is a big difference between being alone and feeling lonely. Being alone is just about where you are. Loneliness is a feeling deep inside your heart. There are moments in life when you are surrounded by people, but you still feel lonely. For example, maybe you are at a big party and everyone is laughing and talking. You smile, but inside it is quiet. It's like your mind is in a different place and nobody notices. Other times you can be at home by yourself with no one around and feel calm. You might read a book or just sit by the window and watch the rain. There is no noise, but you do not feel empty. Instead, you feel peaceful, like you are in your own safe space. I remember a time when I was with friends, but I did not feel like I could talk to anyone about what was in my mind. It made me wonder why I sometimes felt lonely, even when I was not really alone. Maybe you have felt this too. It shows that lonely is not about how many people are around, but about how close you feel to yourself and others. When you are alone, it does not always mean you are missing something. Sometimes being alone can be a good thing. It gives you space to breathe, think, and rest. You can hear your own thoughts and dreams. You can do things you like without worrying about what other people think. I started to learn that being alone can be a gift. It is a time to notice what you really enjoy. Maybe you discover a new song you love, or you spend time drawing or walking outside. You get to know yourself better in these quiet moments. Sometimes we worry what other people will say if they see us alone. But most of the time, people are busy with their own lives. It is okay to have your own space and your own time. You don't need to feel bad for enjoying your own company. What are some things you enjoy doing when you are alone? Can you remember a time when being alone felt good, even if just for a little while? Every person's experience is different, and that is okay. It is normal to feel lonely sometimes, and normal to enjoy being alone at other times. Both feelings are part of being human. The next time you find yourself alone, notice how you feel. Is it lonely, or is it just quiet? What small thing can you enjoy in that moment? Over time, you might find that alone does not always mean lonely. Sometimes, life brings us to places we never expected. My first true moment of solitude came when I moved far from home. The city was huge, bright, and loud, but inside, I felt small. Every street was new, every face was unfamiliar. Each night, I would return to a quiet room, and it felt like I was the only person in the world. At first, it was hard. The silence felt heavy. There were no friendly voices calling my name, no one to share a meal with. In those lonely evenings, fear tried to whisper to me, telling me I could not do this alone. My heart raced every time I woke up and realized there was nobody waiting for me in the kitchen, nobody who truly knew my story. But as the days turned to weeks, something inside me began to shift. I realized that this was my chance to meet someone new, myself. With no one else to impress or please, I could ask myself, what do I really want today? The answer surprised me. I wanted simple things: a walk in the park, a notebook and pen, the taste of fresh bread. One afternoon, As sunlight poured through the window, I found myself smiling. It was small and quiet, but real. For the first time, I was not running from the silence. I was learning to sit with it, to listen, and to breathe in the moment. This was my journey, and nobody could walk it for me. Sometimes I would get lost in the city streets, not sure where I was going, but even getting lost became part of my adventure. I began to notice the color of the sky at sunset, the laughter of strangers in the distance, the way the world kept moving. Even when I paused, I realized I was not as invisible as I once believed. The fear of being alone started to turn into curiosity. What could I discover about myself if I stayed open, even when it was uncomfortable? With each new experience, I collected small victories, finding my way back home, cooking a meal just for me, laughing at my own jokes. I also learned to forgive myself for making mistakes. There was nobody there to judge, nobody to rush me. I had space to try new things and to learn what helped me feel safe. I started to write little notes to myself. Simple words like, "You are doing well," or "keep going." These words became my quiet support when the days felt long. If you ever find yourself in a new place or facing a challenge alone, remember this: you carry something powerful inside you. There is a part of you that knows how to survive, how to learn, how to grow stronger each day. If you are listening in a new city or a new stage of life, take a moment to look around. Notice something you have never seen before. Try one small thing just for you, no matter how simple. Maybe that is how a new legend begins, with one step into the unknown and a promise to keep walking, even when you feel afraid. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have all the answers. Just let yourself be present for this chapter and trust that with every breath, you are building a story worth telling. There are times in life when silence feels heavier than a stone. You can hear the clock ticking, your breath, even your heart beating. For many, this quiet can be frightening. It is like facing a great mountain alone, with only your own shadow for company. At first, I was afraid of silence. When everything around me became still, my thoughts grew loud. Old worries, mistakes, and memories came back, like ghosts in the night. It felt like I could not escape from myself, but I learned that silence is not my enemy. Silence is a place to rest, to listen, and to grow. It is where true strength is born. Without noise from the outside world, I finally heard my own voice, soft, honest, and clear. In those quiet moments, I started asking myself different questions. Not, "Why am I alone?" but, "What do I want to become?" If my life was a story, what would I choose next? It was in the silence that I first dared to dream again. I found courage in small actions. Sometimes I just sat and watched the morning light dance on the floor. Sometimes I wrote down my worries on a piece of paper and then folded it away. It felt like opening a door to a secret garden inside me. Each day, I gave myself permission to feel everything: fear, hope, sadness, joy. There was a day when I cried for no reason, and a day when I laughed out loud at my own silly thoughts. The silence held all these feelings and made room for something new to grow. I started to see that being alone was a chance to build something powerful inside myself. No one else could do it for me. It was my own hands, my own heart, that shaped my future. If fear tries to visit you in the night, remember this: even the brightest stars shine in darkness. Your strength is not found in hiding from fear, but in walking beside it. Every legend faces the silence before they find their voice. Maybe you can sit for a moment and listen. Hear your own heart. What is it trying to tell you? What story does it want to write? Maybe you feel your courage is small, but small seeds can grow into strong trees. Try one brave thing today. even if it is just sitting with your own feelings for a while. This is not weakness, it is the beginning of wisdom. No one else can walk your path, but you do not need to be afraid. The silence is not empty, it is full of your power, waiting to wake up. Let your story continue. You are the hope that has not given up. You are the quiet voice that refuses to be lost. With each silent morning, each long night, you become more than you were before. You are not alone in the silence. One day, I decided to change how I looked at the world. Instead of waiting for something big to make me happy, I tried to notice the small things right in front of me. It was surprising how much joy was hidden in my ordinary days. I remember the first time I walked through a park early in the morning. The grass was wet with dew, and the sun was just beginning to rise. I felt the cool air on my skin, and for a moment it felt like the world was new just for me. There was nobody there to see me smile, but I smiled anyway. I picked up a fallen leaf and looked at the lines, thinking how every little detail was perfect in its own way. I listened to the birds singing, and for the first time in a long time, I felt light inside. Happiness does not always arrive with a loud voice. Sometimes it whispers through simple things, a cup of tea, a favorite song on the radio, or the feeling of soft blankets at night. I started to write down one small thing I enjoyed every day. It helped me remember that joy can be found even when days are hard. When you are alone, you have time to discover what makes you feel alive. Maybe it is drawing, maybe it is singing, maybe it is just sitting and watching clouds move across the sky. You do not need a crowd to celebrate life. You can start with one gentle step, just noticing. I learned that joy is not something you wait for. It is something you choose to see. When my heart felt heavy, I would ask myself, what is one thing I can enjoy right now? Sometimes the answer was simple: the taste of warm bread, the color of a flower, the sound of rain. As the days passed, these little moments became my secret treasures. They gave me energy when I felt tired. They made my world brighter, even when everything around me seemed dark. If you feel lost or empty today, try to find one small thing to appreciate. It might not fix everything, but it will remind you that life is full of tiny gifts waiting to be found. Each day is a new page in your story. Even on the quiet days, you are building your legend, one small joy at a time. Your heart is not empty. It is a garden waiting for the sun. Do not let the world tell you that only big things matter. Sometimes it is the small, silent victories that shape who we are. Breathe in the morning air. Listen to your favorite song. Taste something sweet. Let every sense remind you that you are alive and that your life is full of color. Even on the days when you walk alone, you have the power to find joy right where you are. Let that be the first magic you discover as you walk your own path. Some days, the loudest voice you hear is the one inside your head. When you are alone, you meet your own thoughts, sometimes strong, sometimes gentle, sometimes full of doubt. At first, I was not sure how to talk to myself. I often remembered old mistakes and my words were not always kind, but with time, I learned that I could be my own friend. I started to speak to myself the way I would speak to someone I loved. When I felt tired, I said, "It is okay to rest." When I was afraid, I whispered, "You are brave for trying." It felt strange at first, but these small words began to change my days. I discovered that I could ask myself honest questions. What do you need right now? Are you being fair to yourself? Sometimes the answers were hard to find, but the questions helped me see myself with gentle eyes. There were moments when my worries grew heavy. I tried writing letters to myself, pouring out every feeling onto the page. These letters did not need to be perfect. They were just a way to give my heart a safe place to speak. Bit by bit, I learned to support myself, even when no one else was around. I became my own team, my own cheerleader, my own safe space. When I made a mistake, I told myself, you can learn from this. When I felt lost, I reminded myself, you are finding your way. Talking kindly to yourself is not weakness. It is the first step to real courage. True legends do not wait for someone else to save them. They learn to believe in their own strength, even when the world is silent. If your mind feels loud today, try to speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. You can ask simple questions or say words of support. Let your heart know that you are there, no matter what happens outside. Imagine if every great hero waited for someone else to believe in them. You do not have to wait. You can start now by giving your own spirit the kindness it needs. There will be days when you forget, and that is normal. Just begin again, each morning, with a new word of hope. Each gentle thought is a step on your path, a light in the darkness, a promise to keep going. Your words to yourself are seeds. Speak hope and watch courage grow. You are learning to trust yourself. That trust is your shield. That hope is your sword. Keep going. The world may be silent, but your heart is not. Let your story become the answer you have always needed. Every legend is built not only by dreams, but by daily habits. After I learned to speak kindly to myself, I realized I needed to do more than just think. I needed to act. So I began to create small rituals, little routines to remind me of my own strength. Each morning, I would wake up and write one sentence in my notebook. It did not have to be important or perfect. Sometimes it was just, today I am here and that is enough. Other days, I wrote a hope or a wish for myself. Some days, I took myself on a small adventure. It could be as simple as trying a new food, taking a different route to the store, or sitting in a new spot by the window. With every new habit, I felt a small spark inside me grow brighter. I learned that rituals do not need to be big or complicated. What matters is that you show up for yourself, again and again. Building new habits is not always easy. Some mornings I did not want to get up. Some nights my worries tried to pull me back into old ways, but I reminded myself, every day is a chance to begin again. Every gentle step forward is a victory. Over time, these little habits became my shield. When hard days came, I had something to hold on to. My routines gave me comfort, like a favorite old song or the soft glow of a candle in a dark room. You do not need to change everything at once. Start with one habit, one ritual, one promise to yourself. Repeat it, even when it feels small. You will be surprised at how strong you can become with steady practice. If you are not sure where to start, try writing down one thing you are thankful for each day, or choose one small thing you will do just for you, no matter how simple. Remember, great heroes are made not only by their big choices, but by the small, daily acts of courage that nobody else sees. With every habit you build, you are planting seeds for the future. This is your time. These are your steps. Every day you practice self-care, you become more powerful than you know. You are building a new story. One quiet habit, one honest moment, one strong heartbeat at a time. Let your rituals carry you forward. Let your legend rise. Sometimes the world feels loud with expectations. People often ask, "Why are you alone?" Some may think you are strange for enjoying your own company. They talk about parties, crowds, and always being connected. But there is a quiet courage in choosing your own way. I remember feeling different when I said no to busy weekends or loud places. At first, I worried I was missing out, or maybe people would not understand me. But I learned that not every path is for everyone. There is no single way to live a good life. Over time, I began to accept that it's okay to be unique. It's okay to walk your own road, even when others don't see its beauty. The more I listened to myself, the more freedom I found. I could enjoy silence without feeling pressured to fill it with noise. Sometimes I watched people rushing from one place to another, searching for something. But I was learning to slow down and appreciate the space around me. I found comfort in small things, my favorite chair, a familiar street, the taste of food I cooked just for myself. People may judge what they do not understand, and that is not your fault. It's normal to want acceptance, but you do not have to change to fit someone else's idea of happiness. What matters is living true to yourself and respecting your own needs. There is strength in standing by your choices. It is not easy to go against the crowd, but each time you do, you become more confident. You learn to trust your heart, even when it is quiet. If you ever feel unsure, remember a time when you followed your own way, even if it was hard. What did you learn? What did you gain by listening to yourself? No one else knows your dreams as deeply as you do. Your journey does not need to look like anyone else's. It is yours to create, step by step. The world will keep moving at its own speed, but you can choose your own pace. You can celebrate the freedom to be different. You can enjoy your own company and still care about others. Let this be your reminder. You do not have to explain your happiness to anyone. You have permission to be yourself, just as you are. In the end, the only approval you truly need is your own. There comes a time when being alone feels natural, and you start to see the world with new eyes. You walk through your day with a quiet strength, and you no longer feel rushed to fill every silence. This is when you notice that, even as you enjoy your own company, it can also feel good to share moments with others. I remember once meeting someone who was gentle and kind. We talked about simple things, the weather, favorite books, memories from childhood. It was not about showing off or trying to impress. It was about being honest and present, just as I was. When you know how to be comfortable with yourself, you can choose who to let into your life. You don't need to force a friendship or pretend to fit in. Instead, you can welcome people who make you feel safe, who respect your space and your dreams. I learned to open the door to others slowly. It is like letting sunlight into a room that has been quiet for a long time. You do not need to invite everyone. One good friend is enough to make a difference. There were times when I still enjoyed walking alone, but now and then I also liked sharing a laugh or a story. If I felt tired or needed time by myself, I could say so without feeling guilty. That is the gift of self-companionship. It gives you the courage to set healthy boundaries. True connection is not about never being alone. It is about choosing when and with whom you want to share your time. There is no rush, no rule, and no perfect way to do it. Sometimes I found new friends in unexpected places, a friendly neighbor, a person at a bookstore, or even someone online who understood my journey. I learned to listen and share, but also to trust my own needs. If you ever feel ready to invite someone into your life, remember you can do it on your own terms. Let friendship grow naturally, like a plant that needs time and care. You do not have to give all of yourself away to be liked. The people who matter will accept you just as you are. And if, for now, you feel happy with just yourself, that is enough. The world is wide, and there is no single way to belong. You can open your door slowly and close it when you need to rest. The choice is always yours. Trust that you will find the right balance between togetherness and solitude, sharing and keeping, speaking and listening. You have walked a long journey with yourself. Now take a moment to notice how far you have come. There was a time when being alone felt heavy or strange, but you stayed, listened, and learned. You have faced your own thoughts, found light in quiet days, and built a home inside your heart. Look at all the skills you have practiced. You learned to accept your feelings, and you no longer hide from silence. You discovered that joy can be found in small things, and that simple habits can bring you peace. You began to treat yourself with kindness and you opened your life to healthy connections when you were ready. Each step was important, even when it felt small. Every quiet morning, every gentle word, every brave choice to keep going, these have made you stronger. You are not the same person you were before. You carry more hope now, more trust in yourself. As you move forward, you can use what you have learned to help you every day. Start your morning with a gentle promise. Today, I will care for myself. Notice at least one good thing about your day, no matter how simple. If you feel lonely, remember, you have survived it before. You know how to make your own light. Try to keep one small habit just for yourself. Maybe you write your thoughts in a notebook, or you take a walk, or you simply rest. Let these routines remind you of your strength. If you ever feel lost, come back to the basics. Breathe, notice, accept, and support yourself. Whenever doubt returns, remember your journey. You have walked through fear and found peace. You have felt different and you learned to celebrate it. You have been your own friend. As you keep moving, you may meet new people and see new places, but your heart will always be your home. You do not need to hurry. Let your growth happen in its own time. You are building a legend, a story of hope, of courage, of small victories. Let this be your action plan. 1. Take care of your basic needs. Rest, eat, breathe, and move. 2. Practice at least one act of kindness to yourself every day. 3. Celebrate every moment of courage, no matter how small. 4. Invite connection only when it feels safe and true. 5. Remember, alone does not mean empty. Alone can mean complete. Your journey is not finished. There will be quiet days and busy days, easy mornings and hard nights. But you are ready for all of them. You have the tools to create your own peace. Now take a deep breath. Feel the strength you have built. As you step into tomorrow, know that you are enough, exactly as you are. Your story matters. Your hope is real. And you are never truly alone. Before you go, I want to invite you to take a small step that can make a big difference, not just for you, but for everyone who listens and reads here. You have walked through stories about being alone, finding strength, and learning to enjoy your own company. Now let's keep the conversation going, right here together. I have a few questions just for you. You do not have to answer all of them. Choose the one that speaks to your heart. What is the most important thing you have learned about yourself when you are alone? Was there a moment in your life when being alone felt like a new beginning? Or maybe you remember a time when being alone was really hard. How did you get through it? Have you ever surprised yourself by finding joy in a small, quiet moment? What is your favorite thing to do when you have time just for yourself? Is there a habit or a small ritual that helps you feel strong or calm? If you could give advice to someone who feels lonely right now, what would you say? You can share as much or as little as you want. Even one sentence might help someone who is feeling the same way. Let's make this space a place where everyone can feel heard and supported. So take a moment to write your answer in the comments below. Your story, your advice, or even your questions. Everything is welcome. Reading your words might be the light someone else needs today. I am looking forward to seeing what you share. Remember, you are not alone. Your experience matters, and your voice is important. Thank you again for being here, for listening, and for taking this journey with me. Now it's your turn. Leave a comment, and let's support each other. See you there.